Hello and welcome to CDW Tech Talks. This is the pod where we dig into the technology trends and practical insights shaping how Canadian organizations are using tech to solve real business problems. I'm your host for today's episode, Brian Matthews, Head of Services Strategy at CDW Canada. And I am thrilled to welcome back the one and only Andy Froese. So in today's episode, just like every week, we break down what's happening in the world of business and technology and show you how to drive adoption of enterprise technology within your organization. So stay tuned for the end of the episode for Andy to share another tech tip of the week. Andy, we are going off script. We are doing something different today, and we
Excellent.
are bringing our collective morning energy to provide a BTEX recap episode. So BTEX is CDW Canada's flagship customer event. It is the Business Technology Expo. It's where you will find more than 1,300 IT professionals, hundreds of partners, loads of the great CDW team, and we talk nothing but innovation and technology for an afternoon. We do it at a nightclub. The lights are flashing. The music is pumping. We're having fun. And today we're going to break down everything that me and you are taking away from BTEX 2026 in
It's a
Toronto.
fever dream of technology, Brian, truly.
There we go. There's the headline for next year. So Andy, just in case someone has not met you or did not see our previous episode on supply chain that we recorded, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Happy to be here again. Hey, everyone. Andy Froese back here. I am a director of sales at CDW Canada, responsible for our Western Canada sales organization. And as we'll talk about in terms of BTEX's history, I've been here in 3 days. I'll have hit my 21st anniversary at CDW. So happy to be along for the ride for the whole thing.
21st CDW birthday. Congratulations, Andy. In full transparency to the audience, Andy is a close friend of mine. We've worked together my entire career, so I'm a few years behind Andy, but near 2 decades of partnership. He was an incredible mentor to me in the sales organization. He will tell you personally responsible for most of my success, and I would tend to agree with him. But Andy, any comments or disclaimers on our relationship here?
I'm happy you made it, man. It was a rough go there for a while, but you really pulled through, and look at you now.
Yep, that's my working title for the autobiography. Happy you made it. I think that that plays and that makes sense. The other thing I will call out in full transparency, me and Andy, when given a microphone on stage together, sometimes we'll take some shots at each other and have some fun.
True.
And Andy usually flexes his big brain and his big words that I don't understand. And, I usually get emotional and panic scream at him. So I think we've set the stage. I would also say the only reason Andy was invited to do this is I don't think anyone wanted to listen to me for 13 minutes do a recap show by myself. I don't even think I could convince my mom to watch that episode. So we brought in Andy to hopefully lighten the mood and to do most of the heavy lifting today. So Andy, let's dig in. This was, I believe, the 18th or 19th iteration of BTEX Toronto.
You're right.
Started in 2008. What a year! What a time! If we, go back into the hot tub time machine here, some things were very similar, some things not so much. So, top 3 software and enterprise giants, Microsoft at the top of that list, ranked as the most influential tech vendor in 2008. Right, some of the Microsoft technology that was really top of mind was Windows XP and Windows Server 2003, who remained as the staple for enterprises. Oracle and SAP were there. Core infrastructure and hardware leaders really dominated by, a lot of the same brands, HP, Cisco, Dell, IBM. There were some emerging tech companies at the time. So research in motion, shout out to BlackBerry. Andy, be honest, how many hip holsters with BlackBerry phones did you have on your belt in 2008?
Like always one. I never had more than one, but there was, I went through a number of them. The BlackBerry Gold was a personal favorite.
Not important enough to have 2 yet, but everybody who was important did have multi hip holsters. So shout out to
on one
BlackBerry.
side, BlackBerry on the other. That's how we roll.
There you go. Salesforce was just a baby and was rapidly growing in cloud computing. Google was really moving out of the consumer space into the business world. Ride hailing and logistics giants Uber, Lyft, and Instacart were not even in existence yet. So unfortunately, Instacart was not letting us choose our bananas in 2008, and obviously they are today. Financial technology, fintech powerhouses, again, not even anything more than an idea or a potential idea. So Stripe, Block, Robin, and Coinbase, not so much in '08. So Andy, take us back to 2008. Any reflections? Anything top of mind for you?
I mean, certainly, you mentioned some of the technology firms that were popular, and I mean, a lot of the things that we take for granted now that are part of our daily life started in 2008. Apple launched their App Store. I don't think anyone doesn't use apps these days. I mean, I'm painting a broad brush there, but they've become a pervasive part of our life. The first Android phone, the HTC Dream, came out, and who could forget things like Kung Fu Panda, The Dark Knight, Iron Man, the start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Uh, and take us back to 2008, where there was only one crisis, and it was financial.
Okay. All right. Never thought I'd be dreaming for only one crisis, but here we are. So,
Lehman
Andy,
Brothers.
let's dive in. BTEX. We've set the stage. We've talked about the historical context. We've talked about this is CDW's flagship customer event where we bring the entire industry under one roof. We have thought leadership sessions. We have product demos. We have live demos, and we really, help design and hopefully help shape technology roadmaps of organizations all over the GTA for our Toronto event. So, Andy, what's your top line, impressions? Why do you think our customers keep coming back for BTEX? And what did you see this year?
Well, in terms of the historical context of BTEX and it as an event, as you mentioned, we've been doing it for 18 years, and I know it's meaningful to customers, not because at CDW we're doing things a little bit different with that event, but also it was the first event in the IT industry that started to re-engage post-pandemic. And I can't tell you at that BTEX, we were wearing masks and we're all like bears coming out of hibernation, and the sun squinting in our eyes, uh, and there was a lot of gratitude with people who were just really excited about getting back in front of vendors, in front of each other, and mingling with their CW account managers and coworkers. It was a really great thing to see. Like, um, I don't think I've missed one in the years that I've been here. And there's a couple customers in the market that I don't really consider to BTEX unless I see them. So I just frantically walk around, make sure I see the couple customers I've known for that long. In terms of this year's event, the theme was game on, not only from the standpoint of looking at technology through the history of video games, but our partners bring it every year. Bigger and better boosts, better information, really great engagement with our customers, and game on in terms of AI. I mean, AI right now is something that is pervasive. It's looming as organizations try to figure out how it's going to help them accelerate what they're trying to do in their business. So, from a top down perspective, it was full game on at BTEX this year.
Yeah, I love that theme. There are real challenges. There is real disruption. There is real innovation at all of our fingertips. And CDW as an organization, our partner ecosystem, and all of our customers, we really need to kind of embrace that game on theme, right? Like there's work to be done, there's challenges to solve, and there's innovation to bring to life. So I love that part. I also, I love the comment about the first event after BTEX. I don't know this to be true, but I feel like I may have hugged more people that day than any other day of my life. Wedding maybe would be in the mix there, but it was definitely a jovial experience, and obviously we all went through COVID in different ways, but just that idea of us coming back together as a
It's
as
a
an industry was
Yeah,
was something I'll remember.
it's a great place for connection and engagement for sure.
Okay, so Andy, we talked a bit about the size and scale, 1,300 IT professionals, all the partners, all the CDW team. Maybe just reflect on the size and scale of the event, and what does it feel like? I've been to a lot of events over my career. I know you have. I don't think I've been to an event like BTEX, and maybe just tell us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, in terms of, I mean, again, like you, I travel a lot and go to a lot of similar events, and there's a real dynamism to it and a real fluidity. Again, I mentioned the partners really bring it, and they bring it in terms of, as I mentioned, engaging tabletops and engaging areas for customers to engage with them. But there's a real sense of flow to it. There's that again. I mentioned the word dynamism. There's a constant movement of people throughout, whether they're talking to their CDW account managers, whether they're talking to partners, whether they're collaborating with each other. We have a women in tech room area on the second floor that we see a lot of great engagement with and movement from. So it's again, it comes down to connection. It's connecting our partners with our customers and our customers with ourselves, and everyone with each other. And it's a great tech event for the industry and for the city.
Yeah. I think as I reflect, as I went home, and I feel some of the same emotions every year, it is a draining event in the best way possible. I usually lose my voice a little bit. Every year I feel like I'm complaining a bit more that the music is getting too loud, but that's just a reflection of my age going in the opposite direction.
Yeah,
But there's just so many conversations. There's, high energy, you know, having an event like that, let's be real, in a nightclub with amazing lights and amazing video, compared to most of the events I think you and I go to in a conference facility. Just a different vibe, different set of energy, and I just love each year bringing that back and going to that event. So
it's
I want to
certainly
dig.
exhaustion of the best sort, a
Yeah,
full sensory experience.
there we go. You're just nailing these one-line headlines. I think maybe a career in branding is in your future, but
Wow.
definitely want to pivot, and I want to dig into the tech brief sessions.
Yeah.
So, these are definitely a cornerstone of all of our BTEX events. At the BTEX Toronto, we actually have two separate stages so we can run different talks concurrently. It's a mix of, presentations, panel discussions. There was some, live demos this year, which I think landed really well. Um, you know, what I saw, was some of the most well-attended sessions that I've seen at the BTEX Toronto
Yeah.
event throughout the years. There was a level of engagement that sometimes, maybe isn't there because there are so many things going on at BTEX. There were a few sessions where there were no more seats, so people were just, standing room only. And then even, there was some live Q&A at the end of sessions where questions were coming in from the audience, or a session would wrap and a lineup would form, to speak to, one of the thought leaders that we're sharing. So, what comes to mind? What did you see? What did you like? What did
Yeah.
you hear? What was your impressions of the tech brief sessions?
Yeah, we'll likely have to buy some more of those headphones, because what we do in these sessions is we keep everybody within the confines of the flashing lights and the sound, but we give them headphones, so it's a bit of a silent disco uh, phenomenon where we have the presenters sitting, uh, broadcasting their tech talk through the headphones to the participants. But um, y- yeah, there was like the engagement really shows that we're really in tune with what customers want to know about and learn more about, and the fact that there's people lining up means that we're hitting all the right spots there. So, a couple that stood out to me. So, our director of PPM, Jen Schrock, was leading a talk around the current supply chain challenges. Again, Brian, we did a pod on that topic not too long ago, and it continues to be a pervasive challenge that our customers are facing, and we want to be as communicative with our customers as possible to help them identify the risks that they face and the mitigation strategies that we can offer them. So that one was really well attended. Another one I know that's near and dear to your heart is that Shahab, our manager of digital, digital workspace, led a live demo of Copilot Studio, and gave a 20-minute demo of making an agent in real time. And I think the doors were blown right off on that one. And we didn't have seats or headphones or anything, and because uh, again, the ways that individual employees can be using AI right now is really at the crux of any organization strategy, because there's a really strong opportunity for all employees to work grassroots from an AI perspective to help build things that will, that will drive outcomes within their organization. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the tech talk that you were part of moderating a talk with Apple on Mac is Choice. So great job, Brian.
Yeah, no, I attended Shahab's Copilot live demo, and he had kind of shared that he was planning to do that. And I love the courage. I love the boldness. I love him going head to head with the demo gods and saying, I am going to stand up in an event where 1,300 IT professionals are walking around. I'm going to build an agent in 20 minutes. So,
And
of
gremlins
all,
were exercised. There was went off without a hitch.
yeah, the bar has been set, and
Yeah.
the people have spoken, because I think that was one of the most well attended sessions. So great job by Shahab. The Mac is Choice panel. We focused on myth busting, right, and some of these common myths around Mac in the enterprise, and obviously we've seen great success there recently with lots of customers starting to employ, including CDW ourselves, an employee choice program. I'll go a couple different angles. I got a chance to go to the post quantum cryptography session with Ben Boydoku and Kevin Ellsworth, and they discussed the concept of Q Day, which is this future point in time where quantum is going to break cryptography, and discussed how a lot of bad actors are amassing encrypted, data that they extract,
Mm,
and they're sitting on it, right? So they've got the asset, and when Q Day happens, they'll have the keys to unlock the code to then to go into obviously uh do bad things with the data. So really interesting topic there, and obviously Ben and Kevin are fantastic. A couple of other ones that I think kind of jumped out at me were some of the data governance panel. So there was a session on Microsoft Fabric. Alaji Pui, Courtney Larmond, Omar, and Massimo did a great job there. There was a really lively customer Q&A at the end of that session talking about it. And, I think if I wrap all the conversations, and I know there are loads of other great sessions and we don't have time to talk about them all today. But when I think about all of the sessions, and you kind of mentioned, that there was a huge AI theme, and I don't think that would surprise anyone. But what I walked away with, all of these conversations are melding together. There are no more distinct technology solutions and technology problems that maybe we saw, way back in 2008. We kind of waxed poetic about that time
yeah.
before. And now, I mean, every AI conversation is a security conversation, and every security conversation is a data conversation, and every data, like, we can just, everything is intertwined and overlapped. And it was kind of great to see, the different puzzle pieces of this bigger story kind of get talked about and walked through by the team at BTEX.
Yeah, and again, all that wrapped up in it's the experts at CDW that are driving those conversations. So when we look through those tech talks, it's from a full stack perspective. I mean, there's not really a technology area that's not represented. And again, they all create an amalgam into one right now. A lot of the lines are getting blurred, um, and it just shows how CDW operates with expertise at scale.
Love it. Andy, our time has flown by, but let's dig into any closing thoughts, any kind of final, perspectives from our BTEX 2026 event in Toronto.
Well, again, if you're feeling left out about BTEX and you're in Western Canada, we do run BTEX West, which makes stops in Vancouver and Calgary. So for those of our customers and friends who are in those regions, look out for us coming in the first week of October. Uh, they're more compact events, but we bring the same energy, and we bring the same partners and the same knowledge into those. So we're not shy about sharing those with our customers in all corners of the country. So excited for those coming up.
Yeah, I think my closing thought is maybe a bit of a warning directly to you, Andy. You
Okay.
decided to invite me up on stage
I
to
did.
help you give away prizes at the end of
Couldn't
the
do it by
event.
myself.
Typically, that's my favorite part of the event is when I get to watch you give away prizes and I get to kind of laugh at you and laugh with you.
Indeed.
Um, and this year you decided to invite me up. So I was quite literally holding the bag of,
Yes,
ballots
and
and,
we appreciate that.
handing you a name, which, I appreciate the opportunity. I think you took a lot of risk inviting me up there, but that's really why I made you do this recap episode with me. Right.
Excellent.
So when you ask me to do silly things, I'm going to, return the favor and you're going to come back on the pod and share your great perspectives. So,
I'll still wait
you
for
know,
the silly thing you asked me to do because this has been really great.
there we go. So, Andy, thank you as always. Thank you for everything that you do for CDW, for the business. It's always great having you on. Always great catching up. Kind of final thoughts from me before we wrap. Andy mentioned the BTEX Vancouver and Calgary stops. We're getting into the summer season, so there's going to be loads of events that we do all over the country. So stay plugged in with your account team and the CDW events team. We zigzag the country. We activate great events. Whether it's Calgary Stampede, Vancouver Boat Cruise, F1 in Montreal, loads of exciting opportunities to engage with the CDW team and our partner ecosystem. So with that, Andy, I hope you have an amazing day, and thanks as always.
Thanks, Brian. Before we go, can you? I'm going to turn the tables on you, and could you offer us up one of your famous tech tips?
Oh, tech tips. We almost forgot.
Almost
Andy, I
forgot
will
tech
give you
tip.
a tech tip. Uh, Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting this. You did turn the tables. Here we go. I would encourage all business and IT leaders to think about a concept or the concept of AI for productivity and AI for innovation, and understand that there is a difference between those two things. And AI for productivity is really about cost savings. And I think AI for productivity alone leads to a lot of job fear and job replacement anxiety within your organization. So if all you're trying to do is save time and be more productive, that's likely going to elicit some negative emotions within your workforce. What we need to do is pair AI for productivity and obviously those efficiency gains and time savings with AI for innovation, where we go out, we build agentic AI, we automate work processes, and we kind of enter this new phase of the agentic world. So that's my tech tip of the week. Andy, back at you. What do you got for us?
Well, mine is a lot more pedestrian. As a frequent traveler for business, I would recommend everyone strongly to invest in both a power bank because you never know when you're going to need one of these things, and also a tech pouch so you can keep organized on the go. Brian just mentioned some great tips around using agentic AI, and you can't use it if you don't have battery.
Do you let people use your power bank? Do you share, or is it Andy's personal reserve?
If no, I'll share it if someone needs it because I need to make sure that other people have access to power as well. So
There we go. Andy, have a fantastic day. Thanks.
thanks, Brian. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.